This experience happened to me on Christmas night 1942. I was stationed in the army in a large house which was situated in its own grounds, or probably about 15 acres, and I was on guard, going on duty at 12 o'clock. I came out of the house, and about 200 yards down the drive there was a bell house with on the top of it another archway in which I observed a very pretty bronze bell. The night was quite bright and fine, very moonlight, and I stood looking at the bell and its architecture around it, which I've always been rather interested in. Thought it was rather pretty, most rather like Christmas. So I moved on from there, round the house, and took up my own post, relieving the other sentry, at the other gateway at the back of the house, you see. Anyway, I'd been on duty about half an hour. I quite suddenly heard this bell begin to ring. I thought, well, that's rather odd. Somebody quite stupidly sending that thing. It's an invasion warning that I'll have the camp up. So I started to go round and got halfway around the house and arrived at the corner where I could see the bell tower from. Having got there, I suddenly realized there was nobody there. And then I looked up and there was no bell there either. Anyway, I then returned back onto my own gatepost, cogitating it on the way, and got there and stamped about a bit. And so the experience went. I left it more or less at that, and I eventually came off duty. A couple of days later, I met the caretaker. And in the course of conversation with him, it occurred to me to ask him if he knew anything about this procedure that I was rather intrigued by. And so I asked him if he'd ever heard of bells in the district or anything going in that direction. And he said, no, I've never heard of anything of that sort. The only unusual thing about it is that about 8 years ago, a man hung himself on that bell rope, and both the bell and the bell rope was taken away at that time.